In this lesson today, we're going to be talking about the Catholic view of human sexuality and marriage, and primarily we're talking about the difference between love and lust and the two purposes of sex. So when we think about sexuality, the first thing we have to know is the reasons why people have sex. When we think of all the reasons people have sex, it's pretty simple. The most common reason given is enjoyment. Not just physical, but emotional as well. There's an emotional enjoyment. They also have sex for love. They have it for unity. They have it for procreation. But there's also bad reasons people have sex. You do it for control. They do it to get ahead or to get to improve their standing in the world. There's other reasons like curiosity. There's all these reasons why people have sexuality. And one thing you must know about sexuality is that when it comes to the physical pleasure and the emotional pleasure, those are not bad things. However, as we've spoken of before, primarily sin, what it is, most sin is seeking a secondary good over a primary good. So what happens when people turn sex into sin is they seek the secondary good, the pleasure, and they forego the primary good, which is the two principal purposes of sex. The two principal purposes of sex, the two reasons why we have it, the primary reasons, is the sharing of mutual love of the spouses and for procreation. To truly understand what Christ is trying to teach us about sex, we have to understand the difference between love and lust. The Catechism of the Catholic Church defines lust as a disordered desire or an inordinate enjoyment of sexual pleasure. Sexual pleasure is morally disordered when sought for itself, isolated from its procreative and unitive purposes. So, like I said before, most sin is seeking a lower good. And whenever you seek sex for itself, when your end goal is just pleasure, then sex becomes disordered. The order, what's its end goal, becomes out of whack. But when sex is about the good of the other and sharing a mutual love and about procreation, when that is the primary good, then love is achieved. Now, lust, very important to know, lust is not the desire for sex. The desire for sex comes from God, and it is not bad. The desire for sex actually is a very good thing. Lust is the denial of the purposes of sex. Lust is a selfish desire. And when you look at the definition of love, love is a giving. You give to the other. Sexual love is open to giving life to another. They call it sex making love because you literally are making love for 2 decades that you have to give life to, and you have to support and care for another person, all because of the sexual act. When it is that, it becomes love. But whenever you rid all of that, whenever you rid the desire to care for children, whenever you rid the desire for care for the spouse, whenever it just becomes about the pleasure, it becomes selfish. So lust in itself turns the sexual act from a giving into a selfish act. All right, so we ask ourselves, do we have love or do we have lust? The best way you can look at this is how we treat an individual. So here's a great way to look at the difference between love and lust. Love is you want all of the person. You want their mind. You want their body. You want their soul. You want their good days and their bad days. You want their debt and you want their wealth. Love is you want all of the person. Think of the marriage vows. For better, for worse, for richer and poor, sickness and health. When you love someone, you take all of them, no matter what. Lust says, I want all of your body and everything else can just whatever, right? And this actually exists on a spectrum. Most human beings, they will spend their entire life trying to have less and less and less lust and more and more and more love. That is if they do it right. So look at the very end of the spectrum. All lust, no love. You can say the very end of the spectrum is rape, right? Rape, you say, I don't care about anything. I don't care about your emotions. I don't care about your feelings. I want all of your body. I care nothing about you. The next would be like prostitution. Prostitution says, you know what? I want all of your body. I don't really care if you had a good day or a bad day. I don't really care what your name is all that much. I don't really care about you much, but I want all of your body. As you keep going along the spectrum, you see like the hookup. Two people, they meet, they hook up, they have sex. You might say, I care what your name is. I might care what you do for a job, but I don't really care about anything else. I don't really care about your family. I don't want to meet your mother. I don't really care if you're a slob. I don't really care if you're a bad human being. There is one episode of How I Met Your Mother where one of the main characters, he meets this girl and he has sex with this girl on their first date. And at the end he says, I just had decent sex with a horrible human being. And it shows that he wanted all of her body, But did he really care that she was a good human being? Not really. Did he really want to be with her? No. He wanted all of her body, but none of her. And as you progress, you see more and more and more. The more and more love people have, the more they say, I want all of you. So as you get a newer relationship, they say, I care about you. I care about how your day is going. I care about your parents. I want part of that. But do I want all of you? Do I want all of your debt? Do I want all of your emotional struggles and toils? Do I want everything? It's like, not really, but I want all of your body. A long-term relationship says, you know what? I care about you. I care about you deeply. But do I want to care about you for the rest of my life? Not really. But do I want all of your body? Yeah, sure it is. And as you progress along, you see more and more and more that they care more and more about the person. They don't just want all of the body, they want all the person. So in Catholic sexuality, when is a couple ready to have sex? Whenever the couple says, I care about all of you, your body, your soul, your mind, your good days, your bad days, for the rest of your life. That's the God's view of sexuality. You cannot separate the body from the person. Remember, you don't have a body, you are a body. And so when one person says, I want to sleep with that body, what they're saying is, I want all of you physically. You say, I want all of you. That's the Catholic view of lust and love. We ask ourselves, am I in love? In the Catholic view, what does it mean to be in love? Well, remember, love is desire the good of the other. But there's a second point of this when it comes to sexuality, and actually love in general. Love is creative. Being in love means you want your love to create more. Think about this. Any community that loves itself, any community at all, whenever they love, the love does not stay within the community. Quite the opposite. The love will explode outside into the greater community. You see this with the Trinity. Remember, the marriage is by far the best example we have of the Holy Trinity. The reason is because when you have the Holy Trinity, you have these persons in the Trinity, they come together and they love the Father and the Son. Remember, the Holy Spirit's the love between the Father and the Son. And this love between the Father and the Son that exists in the Holy Spirit, it explodes into everything. The entire universe is just a love affair of the Trinity. And that's essentially what sexual marriage is. Marriage that stays contained within itself is no longer love. Love does never, ever stays inwards. It always go out. And that's why the Catholic Church, we say we are open to children. What this means is we never take away fertility. We never say, you know what, I am going to take away any possibility to create. I'm going to do what I can to take away the ability to create life. And what you have is you have a lack of love, because love is always open to sacrifice. Love is always open to giving. Now, there are exceptions, and we'll get into these exceptions in the next class. But love, in its essence, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, is always greater than itself. It's the concept that 1 + 1 = 3. That two people, their love never ever stays contained within those two people. And that's what sexual love is. Sexual love is to become greater than itself. The next class we will finish this concept of Catholic view of human sexuality.